Greeting lecturers and hello everyone, I'm Suklip, I'm from Group 1. Before we begin with our presentation, let me give you a brief overview about population growth and urbanization. Population growth refers to the increase in number of people living in a specific region over a certain period, while urbanization describes the shift of population from rural areas to urban areas. And now let's take a look at our table of contents. And in this we have strategy for action. Responding to problem of population growth, population decline, and urbanization. And in this, we have effort to maintain or increase population in countries with low fertility rates. Effort to curb population growth by reducing fertility. And for this point, we have some strategies such as provide access to family planning services, using China one-child policy, improve the status of women, the importance of education and employment, and involvement of men in family planning. And another strategy is about increased economic development and improved health. So moving on to another point, it's about effort to restore urban prosperity. And we have empowerment zone, enterprise, community program, infrastructure improvements, brownfield redevelopment, gentrification and incumbent upgrading, community development cooperation, and the last point is the urbanization. And now move to another part, it's about improve transportation and alleviate traffic congestion. And in this we have self and society attitude toward walking and creating a better walking community. Another point is about responding to urban sprawl, growth, boundary, smart growth, and new urbanism. And last point, it's about strategy for reducing urban growth in developing countries. And for the last point of our content, it is about understanding problem of population growth and urbanization. So without any further ado, let's begin with my point. The first one I'm going to cover on responding to problem of population growth and responding to problem of population decline. And as you may know, some countries are struggling with population growth increasingly, while others may encounter difficulty maintaining and increasing their population. For example, over the past year, China has conducted a one-child policy within the country in order to curb its population. According to researcher Karen and Judith, the world's most stringent effort to slow down population growth within the country is to apply one-child policy. So as you can see in the chart, that China population has dropped down in 1979 to 2016. There's a huge change in their population. Now let's look at some strategy that we can use to curb the population growth, such as providing access to family planning services, using contraceptive methods, involving men in family planning, implementing one-child policy like China, improving the status of women through educational and occupational, increasing economic development, and improving health status. However, as a developing country like Cambodia, our population remained the same, around 7 million from 2022 to 2024, based on Worldometer. And for this reason, I think it is unnecessary to implement those strategies in Cambodia, since our population is not exceeding the world's population. Last but not least, let's talk about effort to maintain or increase population. So in countries with low fertility rates, they mostly encourage their citizens to have more than one child by providing many benefits, including monetary reward, family leave policy, and universal child care. For example, in Taipei, the government recently increased the birth bonus to 40,000 Taiwanese dollar for a first child, and to 45,000 Taiwanese dollar for the second, and to 50,000 Taiwanese dollar for the additional child. And this incentive aims to ease the financial load on family and address Taiwan's low birth rate. And another example is about a town of Yamatsuri, Japan, that offer $9,200 for monetary reward over 10-year period. They want to persuade women who have at least 2 children to have more. And now this comes to the end of my part. I would like to give this opportunity to Sifong.
Thank you, Sukhlip, for your amazing speech. And now let's begin with my part. And I'm gonna cover on the provide access to family planning services and China one-child policy. So in the first part, I'm gonna divide it into three main points. Like I'm gonna talk about the importance of family planning and family planning in Cambodia, and the last one is about restriction of contraceptive services for unmarried youth. And now we're gonna look at the importance of family planning. So family planning solves three critical needs like avoiding unintended pregnancy and preventing sexual transmitted disease, and we reduce the infertility. So how like avoiding an unintended pregnancy, like unintended pregnancy increase maternal mortality and morbidity. And factors contributing include like lack of access to contraception, failure of method, and the lack of motivation. Also, family planning offers maternal and infant health benefit like increased partner involved in pregnancy decision and help avoid unintended pregnancies, and it also reduces the physical, emotional, and financial strain, provide more time for personal development, and reduce strain on community resources like social services and health system. So, since the 1950s, government and non-governmental organizations has been working to lower the fertility through family planning program that provide reproductive health services and access to contraceptive methods. And along with this development in contraceptive technology, the average number of children born to each woman have fallen from 5 in the 1950s to 2.6 between like 2005 and 2010 because of women want to limit the family size and they using the modern method of birth control. And according to the World Health Organization, like we call it WHO, family planning is defined as the ability of individuals and couples to anticipate and attain their desired number of children and the spacing and timing of their birth. So right now we will gonna know about the planning, family planning in Cambodia, and we will look through the fertility and its determinant. Like here is the statistic about the fertility rate. Like currently, women in Cambodia have an average of 2.7 children, and fertility in Cambodia has declined from 3.8 children per woman in 2000 to 2.7 children per woman in 2014, and it remained unchanged in 2021 and 22. And here's the statistic of current use of family planning. So in Cambodia, 62% of married women like age from 15 to 49 use method of use any method of family planning, and 45% use the modern method. And the most popular modern method among married women and the peer they use around 26%, and injectable 6%, and intrauterine device or IUD 5%, and 17% of married women use a traditional method. Now we will look at the restriction on contraceptive services for unmarried youth. So studies have also found that access to SRH services, including contraceptive service, is quite different for married couple compared to unmarried youth. And unmarried youth face additional constraint in accessing contraceptive service and related to the information due to existing social norms that discourage and stigmatize premarital sex. Due to the prevalent social norm for premarital sex, healthcare providers often feel uncomfortable discussing sexual issues with the unmarried youth, or we call unmarried young people. So I'm gonna talk about the China one-child policy, and we will know the establishment and implementation of China one-child policy. China one-child policy introduced in 1980 aimed to cope the rapid population growth, especially in urban areas, with exception for certain rural and minority families, and enforced through incentive and strict measure. The policy successfully reduced birth rate and through those raising the life expectancy temper this gain. And here is the consequence of China one child policy. Like it has really skewed sex ratio and aging population and documented the children. So now we will move to the end of China one child policy. China one child policy and in late 2015, allowing family to have children like two starting in 2016. However, this did not significantly increase the birth rate as many couples cite financial concern, lack of children care and career impact, along with cultural preference for smaller family. In response to low birth rate and an aging population highlighted by the 2020 census, the government announced in May 2021 that couples could have up to 3 children. This change was promoted in August 2021, accomplished by the promise of supportive policies in employment, finance, childcare, and education to encourage higher birth. So now my part has come to the end, and the next part will be present by my member.
Thank you, Susan, for the presentation. So now I will be presenting the next part, and it's about effort to restore urban prosperity. Strategy to restore prosperity to U.S. city and well-being to their residents, businesses, and workers include strategies to attract new businesses, create jobs, repopulate city, and in some cases, shrink and urbanize city. The economic development and revitalization of city also involve improving affordable housing options, alleviating urban problems related to HIV, AIDS addiction, crime, and reducing problem of traffic and transportation. According to the UN Decade on Ecosystem Restoration, urban areas take up less than 1% of the Earth's landmass, yet they adopt more than half of the global population. They also mentioned that to support urban ecosystem restoration, the United Nations Environment Programme has handpicked 19 cities to take part in the Generation Restoration Project to be announced on World City Day. This initiative stands as a contribution to the UN Decade on Ecosystem Restoration and the Global Biodiversity Framework. So next is about Empowerment Zone Enterprise Community Program. What is Empowerment Zone Enterprise Community Program? According to U.S. Government Accountability Office, the Empowerment Zone Enterprise Community Program is one of the most recent large-scale federal efforts intended to revitalize, empower urban and rural communities. It provides tax incentive, grants, and loans to businesses to create jobs for residents living within various designated zones or communities, many of which are in urban areas. Furthermore, money provided to empowerment zone and enterprise communities is also used to train and educate youth and families and to improve childcare, healthcare, and transportation. Moving to the next point is infrastructure improvement. Infrastructure improvement refers to the process of upgrading or repairing the existing infrastructure. Infrastructure includes things such as water and sewer lines, phone lines, electricity cables, sidewalks, streets, bridges, curbs, lighting, and storm draining systems. Improving infrastructure also helps to attract business to an area, increases property value, and renews residents' sense of pride in the neighborhood. Next is brownfield redevelopments. Brownfields are abandoned or undeveloped sites that are located on contaminated land. There are more than 400,000 brownfields throughout the United States and an estimated 5 million acres of abandoned industrial sites in U.S. City, roughly the same amount of land occupied by 60 of the nation's largest cities. Cleaning up the redeveloping brownfield is not only an important environmental measure but also is a key component of urban revitalization because it provides jobs, increases tax revenue, attract more businesses, residents, and tourists, and help to curb urban sprawl. Hundreds of urban brownfield sites across the United States have been successfully redeveloped into residential, business, and recreational property. Recognizing that a major obstacle to brownfield redevelopment is lack of funding, the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development developed a funding program known as the Brownfield Economic Development Initiative, which has provided millions of dollars to the to communities across the city for the purpose of brownfield redevelopment. According to United States Environmental Protection Agency, cleaning up and redeveloping a brownfield property enabled infill development increases the tax base, spurs job creation, and often kickstart revitalization activity within a neighborhood, depending on the location and characteristic of property and market factors. A brownfield site often can be redeveloped for uses ranging from housing, retail, industrial, or mixed use to public and non-profit uses such as park, recreational area, and municipal facility. Brownfield redevelopment offers benefits over greenfield development, such as reducing blight and improving the local environment by cleaning up contaminations, moving abandoned or underused sites into beneficial reuse, and reducing sprawl and preserving green space. Brownfield can be redeveloped by private developer, local government, or through public-private partnership. Last but not least, gentrification and incumbent upgrading. Gentrification is a type of neighborhood revitalization in which middle and upper income individuals buy and rehabilitate older homes in an economically depressed neighborhood. The city provides tax incentive and investing in old housing with the goal of attracting wealthier residents back into the neighborhood and increasing the tax base. After the house is renovated, the owner may live there, rent, or sell the house. A downside to gentrification is that low-income city residents are often forced into substandard housing because less affordable housing is available. In effect, gentrification often displaces the poor and the elderly. However, a survey of residents into gentrifying neighborhoods in Portland, Oregon, found that most residents, including owner and renter, white and minorities, newcomers, and long-time residents liked how their neighborhood had changed and were optimistic and it would continue to improve. An alternative to gentrification is incumbent upgrading, in which aid programs help residents of depressed neighborhoods buy or improve their home and stay in the community. Both gentrification and incumbent upgrading improve decaying neighborhoods, attracting residents as well as businesses. So this is the end of my part. So next.
Okay, so now let's move to my part. I'm going to talk about the community development cooperation. So what does it mean by the word community development cooperation here? It's referred to the non-profit group formed by residents, small business owner, congregation, and other local stakeholders. And its duty is to create job and affordable housings, and also renovate parks and other community facilities, such as you can see in the picture, such as child care center, senior center, and also cultural center, healthcare center as well. So the most community development cooperation, they establish their housings and economic development project with other community building activities such as budget or credit counseling, immigration services, prisoner reentry services, community gardening, education and training, and also the homeless services as well. And this community, they are funded by a variety or many sources, including federal, state, and local government, as well as Spain as well. And for the main or the major strengths of CDCs, or we known as the Community Development Cooperation, is that they involve community residents in planning and implementing urban renewal projects, giving the resident a sense of empowerment with their communities. Well, so that's all for the community development cooperation. So now I'm going to talk about the urbanization. So what does it mean, the urbanization? So it's referred to urban survival strategy that involves completely labeling entire urban districts and returning them to the nature. So here I will raise one example about the Flint, Michigan, which is one of the poorest U.S. cities, where 1 in 5 adults is jobless, has lost about half its population. The mass exodus of Flint residents, along with the collapse of property value has left the whole section of the city almost completely abandoned. So here, which means like they facing the population growth and also like jobless. People have no job and they decided to go back to their rural area. So which lead the city became abandoned. Yeah, so this is about the urbanization, which refer to, as I mentioned, people like they decided to go back to their rural area as they facing a lot of challenge in the urban area. So now let's move to the next part. I'm going to talk about the improved transportation and elevate traffic congestion. As we all know, the more population grow, there will be more people travel or commute to work or to the place that they want to go, something like that. So this lead to a huge problem, which is traffic congestion. Well, so how can we solve this problem? So in order to reduce the traffic congestion, there's an important strategy that can help, as well as improving the air qualities, reducing the greenhouse gases emission, which is we have to increase the use of public transit such as buses, train, and subways. So when people use more public transportation, so the traffic congestion will be slowed down. However, there are also some cities require motorists to pay a congestion charge for driving in a congestion charge zone during weekday traffic periods. For examples of Singapore. So Singapore is one of the country that has, we can say that they can control the traffic congestion very effectively. They also use this congestion charge zone, which means like they require their citizens to pay when they drive in the congestion charge zone. And also they use the ERP system that can limit the speed, and also like they can find the people who didn't follow the law or the traffic law or something like that. So they use this system, which is very effectively, and when they doing like this, it can encourage traveler or the driver to use more public transportation such as bicycle, motorcycle, or alternative fuel vehicles, which are exempt from the charge. And for the last point, if in the city have more or create more workable community, such as like have an area or a site for people to walk easily or across the road easily, it can be more convenient for the walker, and also can be can help or can also reduce the traffic jam as well, because people can walk to their place like workplace or school, something like that. So now let me recap the strategies that can reduce the traffic congestion. So the first one is using more public transportation. So the second one is by using congestion charge zone, and the last one, create more walkable community. So that's all for my presentation. So thank you.
Greeting lecturer and everyone. My name is Hu Susian, and I will be covering the importance of education and employment for women. So to begin with, in the developing world, women's primary role is to become mother and wife. Historically, they also have been pushed to marry early and have children rather than pursuing education or career for themselves. So, to improve the status of women, we need to provide them education and occupation. Educated women are more likely to marry later in life, have smaller family, and use birth control. According to Population Reference Bureau 2007, women at least a secondary level education have 1/3 to 1/2 as many as children without formal education. You can take a look at the chart. It's also in our book. The darker color showed women with formal education, and the lighter color showed women without formal education in each country. So, furthermore, offering job opportunity for women play a crucial role in curbing population growth. When there is high participation of female labor force and higher wages, it often leads to smaller family size. Another point is getting more kids into primary school help a lower fertility rate and death rate. This is because education help promote awareness of the benefit of family planning. Additionally, if children go to school, parents need to pay school fee, and they have to miss out on child labor. However, without shifting my attitude toward family planning, it is unlikely that population growth will slow down. On another hand, in United States, women and men does not want children and chose to be child-free. According to Hollander 2007, 7% of women ages from 35 to 44 are choosing to remain child-free, indicating that this lifestyle choice is becoming increasingly popular compared to unexpected pregnancy. In general, child-free couples are more educated, live in urban area, less religious, and do not concern about gender ideology. Let's take a look at this example I found on Earth Island Journal. It's about Matt Leonard, who lives in California. Is a climate justice working with organization Peace Green. He chose to have a vasectomy. Basically, a vasectomy is a simple surgical procedure that make men unable to cause pregnancy. It is also common in the US. Nearly 500,000 procedures performed every year. So he chose to do it for personal reasons, and he believed that justice, peace, and sustainability aren't inherited through genetic, but learned through experience and community. And he wants to contribute more to the world by living these values and sharing them rather than having biological child. Another big point is the involvement of men in family planning. We all know that men play an important role in family planning decision, but they often don't have the right information or access to the resources they need to make a good choice. Because of this, family planning program should provide more education and health service to men. For example, men need to learn about health risks for women linked to pregnancy that are closer together, as well as those that happen before age 20 and after 40. When pregnancy occurs before age 20, young women may face increased risk due to their body not being fully matured, while pregnancy after 40 may carry high risk of genetic disorder and complication like gestational diabetes or hypertension. By understanding these risks, men can help support their family support healthier family planning and ensure the well-being of both mother and children. Moving on to my last point is increase economic development and improve health. Economic development can help slow population growth, even though fertility rate can drop without it. In poorer countries, families often have many children to provide labor and income. As countries develop, children become less of economic assets, and families tend to have fewer kids. Development also leads to more education for women, greater gender equality, and better overall health. With improved healthcare, infant and child mortality decrease, so couples don't need to have many children to ensure to survive like they used to. Finally, in more developed countries, women are more likely to learn family planning through education and media, which promote controlling fertility. As education and health improve, women have more control over their reproductive choices, which change the way families think about number of children they can have. And also, economic growth often leads to more people living in the city where costs are higher and space is limited. When economic move from farming to industrial and service job, parents don't need as much as children for work, so they can focus more resources on fewer kids. And this creates a positive cycle where a smaller family have more opportunity and resource for each child, leading to a better educated workforce that help the economic growth even more. And that is all for my point. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Kim Dong, for your presentation. So now let's move on to the next point, which is about responding to urban sprawl, which is about growth boundary, smart growth, and new urbanism. Urban sprawl is when the city spread out into nearby countryside area. It usually means like more houses, shop, and road covering the large spaces. This spread can lead into fewer natural area and more car traffic, and also longer travel time for people. And in the national survey, nearly half of Americans, about 45%, said that slowing development of open space was an extremely high priority. And in recent decade, Cambodia, especially in Phnom Penh and Siem Reap, has seen urban sprawl as the city expand into formal agriculture and undeveloped land. Phnom Penh rapid growth, fueled by migration and economic development, has led into neighborhood and commercial area beyond the city center. This expansion brings challenges like traffic congestion, inadequate infrastructure, and environmental impact. Has a green space, air replaced by building and road. So now we will look at the strategy like grow boundary, smart growth, new urbanism, and regional solution to handle the issue that caused by the fast urbanization and population growth. Strategy is grow boundary. In short, we call UGBS. According to the Green Belt Alliance, urban growth boundary set limit on how far the city can expand, separation urban area from natural and agricultural land to prevent the sprawl, often approved by voter for a period like 20 years. UTB encourage sustainable growth within the city limit. Different cities may call this boundary by different names such as urban limit line or simply grow boundary, but they serve the same purposes of stopping sprawl development and encourage the sustainable growth. And the question is why we need UTB. Facing the climate change and housing pressure, UTB protect the green belt while promoting the compact, climate-smart development, and they also achieve two main goals. The first one is safeguarding natural area. UTB prevent the urban spread into surrounding green space, preserving the natural habitat and farmland. And the second goal is encourage the sustainable growth by fostering mixed-use workable neighborhood within urban area. UTB reduce car reliance, lower population, and improve resident health. In short, UTB help the city grow sustainable, balancing urban need and with environmental protection. The second strategy is smart growth. According to the EPA, an official website of U.S. government stated that smart growth is a planning approach aimed at creating sustainable community that balance the development with environmental conservation. And also, development decisions affect many aspects of daily life: housing, health, commute, taxes, and the local economy. Smart growth strategy help protect our health, preserve the natural environment, and make community more appealing, resilient, and economically vibrant. And there are 10 key principles of smart growth. The first one is mixed land use, combine the residential, commercial, and recreational spaces. 2 is compact building design, use land efficiently to prevent the sprawl. 3 is housing variety, offer diverse housing option to accommodate all needs. 4 is walkable neighborhood, design the community to encourage walking and reduce the car reliance. 5 is distinctive community, build unique attractive area with a strong sense of place. 6 is preserve the open space, protect the farmland, nature, and vital environmental area. 7 is focus on existing community, direct growth to already developed area. Number 8 is transportation choices, provide multiple transit option for accessibility. 9 is predictable development, make a decision that are fair and cost effective. 10 is community collaboration, engage the resident in planning and develop process. Smart growth priority sustainable vibrant community that improve the quality of life while addressing the environmental and economic needs. And the third strategy is new urbanism. Based on what I have researched, new urbanism is an urban planning approach inspired by traditional town design where blocks are walkable, housing and shops are nearby, and the public space are accessible. This human scale design aims to create a vibrant, compact neighborhood that foster a strong sense of community and make daily life more convenient. And the difference between new urbanism and smart growth. New urbanism and smart growth both promote the sustainable, community-focused urban planning but differ in focus. Smart growth aims to prevent the urban sprawl, while new urbanism seeks to enhance the quality of life through well-designed, compact neighborhood. Both face zoning challenge like requirement for large separation between residential and commercial area or wide street, which can complicate implementation. And for the last point is about strategy for developing country. To manage the urban growth in developing country and reduce the overcrowding strategy include The first one is supporting rural farming and economic opportunity. The second one is encouraging business to move to rural area. The third one is providing incentive for new rural business. And four is enhancing rural infrastructure like road, water, waste management, and social service. Though effective, this strategy requires substantial funding and resources, which can be challenging for many developing regions. So that's all for my part. For the next slide is about regionalism. Regionalism in urban sprawl involves in planning strategy that address the specific need of a region to manage the growth effectively. It's encouraged nearby city and town to collaborate on shared resources, transportation, housing, and environmental preservation. This approach helps prevent unplanned expansion by promoting the compact, sustainable growth and protecting the rural and natural area from unnecessary development.
So moving on to my part is about understanding problem of population growth and urbanization. There are four main points: population growth and its impact, challenges of urbanization, solution and intervention, and the last one is about environmental consideration. For the population growth and its impact, despite declining fertility rate, global population will continue to grow, primarily in urban areas in developing countries such as India and Brazil. These two countries are facing the population problem because their population are rapidly increased over the year. Population growth is described as a key factor that influences many global issues from economic stability to environmental concern. So let's move to the next slide. It's about challenges of urbanization. Rapid urbanization is creating social, economic, and environmental, including poverty, unemployment, also inadequate housing, traffic congestion, and pollution. These are the problems caused by urbanization. In urban areas, consume a large share of natural resource, and also it product significant waste. It leads to environmental degradation. Let's move to another part, which is about solution and intervention. Government, there are four main points in this part. Government are encouraged to focus on population control measures that include improving family planning, support economic development, and empowering women through education, health improvement, and economic opportunity. It's like they focus more on women rather than men. The second one is about addressing population growth, require contribution from wealthier nations to support reproductive health, public health, and universal education initiative globally. The third one is about research are often relocated with high spending on luxury items in wealthy countries that could instead address on global needs such as hunger, elimination, access to clean water, and universal literacy. Last one is about role of political leadership. Yes, leadership is also important in this part. It can contribute the most to find a solution to solve this problem. So let's move to the last part, main point. Which is about environmental consideration. Urban growth create environmental problems including pollution, deforestation, and water scarcity. As you know that many countries in the world are facing these three main points, which is pollution, deforestation. They need to grow crop in order to deforestation. To improve urban living conditions, strategy must address both population growth and environmental impact. There are two main points to address this. The first one is about increasing access to contraceptive and reproductive health service. Individuals can make informed choice about the number of timing of their children, ultimately, it can reduce fertility rate. The last one is about enhancing education, particularly for women and girls. It's another good solution because women are important to contribute to the environmental consideration. That's all for my part. Let's move to the last one.
To conclude, we have explored a wide range of strategy and efforts in response to the challenges of population growth and urbanization, from addressing low and high fertility rates to promoting family planning, education, and economic development. These initiatives show how countries can adapt to changing population needs. Furthermore, that strategy to restore urban prosperity, like infrastructure improvement, smart growth, and community development, highlight the importance of creating balanced, sustainable cities. The growing urban landscape demands thoughtful planning to ensure a high quality of all life for all citizens. Whether it is reducing urban sprawl, improving transportation, or enhancing walkability, these approaches all aim to foster more livable and resilient community. And thank you for your attention, and we're looking forward to any question. Thank you.